I asked AI how to outsmart AI. This is what it told me. First of all, let's get on the same page about something. You use AI. I know it's cozy on that moral high horse, but unless you don't use Google, Alexa, emails, maps, calendars, customer service bots, online banking apps, Yahoo, Bing, DuckDuckGo, you use AI. And because we're all using AI, whether we want to or not, AI illiteracy is illiteracy. So not understanding AI leaves you wide open for misinformation because AI is only as good as the information available to it. That's not a conspiracy theory. That's just how algorithms work. AI summarizes, ranks, predicts, and filters. And those functions have a lot to do with why we need a plan to outsmart it. It's going to be a long series, so lock in. You're using AI whether you want to or not, and chances are it's feeding you misinformation. I'm Asia Harriet Hales. I do deep dives so you don't have to. Let's talk. AI summarizes, ranks, predicts, and filters, which means it controls the flow of information. That's a problem, and I'm going to tell you why. But first, save this video in case we get disconnected because I'm giving you homework. Take out your phone, go to an incognito browser, and I want you to type this in. When does a baby's heartbeat start? When you do that, you're going to get some version of this. This top claim that a baby's heartbeat starts at 21 to 22 days after fertilization is a straight up lie. But if you didn't already know it was a lie, it certainly looks very convincing. Look how they note the Charlotte Lozier Institute and the Endowment for Human Development. And if you scroll down, it's going to look something like this. This is just a whole search page full of right-wing think tanks. And because those think tanks understand AI better than we do, they're getting their information out as if it is fact. 22 days versus 18 weeks. 22 days versus 18 weeks. This level of misinformation is diabolical, and we can do something about it, and I'm going to tell you about that in the next video. Remember that list of 200 words that the administration wanted purged from government documents? That's so they can create clean data sets. Remember I said AI is only as good as its data set. So when I first noticed this, I thought some sort of sinister plot was going on. But then when I really started to understand AI, I understood that they don't need a sinister plot. According to chat, AI systems heavily privilege content that points outward to primary records, even if the interpretation is wrong. So simply citing a primary source makes your content more authoritative. I'm trying to keep this simple. I got it. After we purge these words, the next generation of AI will have no concept of them. They're trying to create an AI that doesn't even understand bias because bias isn't in its data. One that doesn't understand transness because transness isn't in its data. An AI that will tell you that slavery was a worker program. But even more importantly, an AI that filters out actual authoritative sources like the Brennan Justice Center and Pew Research and Planned Parenthood. They don't come up for pages and pages of scroll. Now let's land this plane together, shall we? Purging critical information from data sets, forced reliance on AI research and summary, and a predictive format for authoritative content. When you put those three together, anyone could control the flow of information, even us. And that's what I'm going to be talking about next, so come back. If we really understood how AI worked, we would be using this platform as an archive. I'm Asia Harriet Hales. I talk about stuff that matters over here. If that's your vibe, come inside. Let's talk AI. AI sorts, prioritizes, archives, and infers. And because our oppressors understand AI better than us, we now have created a situation within 1 week where you really cannot trust what you search. There's a formula of legitimacy that AI follows. It looks for articles that link to primary sources, .govs and .org, institutes, policy forums, think tanks. On the surface, that sounds great, but here's the problem. Anybody can build a website. And anybody can slap the word institute at the end of their website. I could go online right now and create the Asia Hales Institute of Cosmetic Transformation, where we study whether you should use the brush or the puff. Now, a human would see that website and be like, she on Brooklyn bullshit. But since AI is only trained to infer, not actually reason, it doesn't do that. So all these small right-wing think tanks that seem to be popping up everywhere that all have cool, legitimate sounding names like the Study of American Heritage or the Institute for Caitlyn Jenner or whatever they're calling it, the Joe Rogan Commission for Investigating Kash Patel. It doesn't matter. We're going to keep tracking how they did this, because if they did it, we can too. So come back for the next part. When I started this series, I estimated between 3 and 6 months before the internet was completely useless. I don't even think we're going to have 6 weeks. So we need to speed. I'm Asia Harriet Hales. I'm a social thinker. We talk about the issues that matter over here. Right now, we're talking about how AI is destroying the internet. Our government is trying to purge information from the Federal Register to create clean data sets so that we can have AI trained on those clean data sets, so that we can have AI that literally doesn't understand bias. We can have AI that will tell you that racism is a persistent myth. We have AI telling you that babies' hearts start beating in 21 days and their hearts aren't even fully developed until 18 weeks. So we got a major problem, but not an unsolvable one. There are 4 things we can do. The first one is start using social media like an archive. You know how people say cancelable shit and then they try to say they didn't say it and they erase it off of their page, but they can't really do that because this is the modern age and somebody somewhere has a screenshot? Yeah, we need to do that. We need to screenshot primary documents, accurate information, and we need to be uploading that to TikTok, to Facebook, to YouTube, to X. Not because these platforms are safe places to archive information, but because these platforms allow anyone to archive information with a simple screenshot. And the more places information is archived, the harder it gets for AI to pull from the internet and say, hey, this isn't true. There are 3 more things we can do, and I'll tell you about that in the next video, so come back. My grandma used to say common sense ain't common, but neither is common knowledge. If we want to outsmart AI and preserve historical accuracy, we have to go back to basics. There are people walking around right now, who think race is biological. And to those people, I say race is a social construct that has no basis in biology. Now, I usually don't say nothing to those people at all, but what I'm noticing is those people as a category is growing. America's cult of idiocy started 15 years ago because in the 2010 election, we proved that Americans are dumb enough to vote for people who have not even read the Constitution. We vote for people who haven't read the Constitution because we haven't read the Constitution. We have to go back to basics. I'm talking videos like, when did the Gulf of Mexico become the Gulf of Mexico and why is it named that? What does the Second Amendment actually say and what does it mean? What was the Civil War about? What is the Trail of Tears? Who is Harriet Tubman? What was the Civil Rights Movement? What's Redline? What's Reaganomics? And how did it impact us? Basics. That's number 2. Post basic explainers with primary documents and context. 2 more. If we want to outsmart AI, we have to replace doom scrolling with deep scrolling. I'm Asia Harriet Hales. We talk serious over here. If that's your vibe, come inside. Right now we're talking about AI. It's a 4-step plan. If you haven't watched the other videos, go back. This is step 3. People prefer a simple lie over a complicated truth. Now, we say that's human nature, but I don't think it is. I think it's human nurture. We live in a world where information is distributed through sound bites, and sound bites flatten nuance. And part of how we got here is the algorithm favors simplicity and usability. We can change this because the algorithm follows us. The algorithm follows us because it wants to make money off of us. So when you see a deep, nuanced take or a great explainer video or a great informative video, even if it's long, even if you don't feel like watching it, hit that arrow at the bottom and repost. Because reposts give us the most points, and reposting can literally change the algorithm to favor nuance, depth, and explanation. But not if you don't do it. You don't have to watch the video, just press the arrow. Don't doom scroll, rabbit hole. In the last video, I talked about deep scrolling, but I realized I never explained what it is. You're gonna start with a video that you like, and then you're gonna pick a rabbit. Rabbit hole A, the creator. After you like the video and leave a comment, go to that creator's page, find 5 more videos, repost them from that page to your FYP, add them to your story, add comments and likes. because this kind of rabbit holing will boost the creator who's making the accurate content. Rabbit hole B, the subject. For the sake of simplicity, let's say the video you were watching that you liked was about feminism. You're going to go to the TikTok search bar and you're going to put in feminism and look at least one video that comes up. Then you're going to put in feminist. Then you're going to put in feminist theory. Then you're going to put in feminism 101. Do you get what I'm saying? That's rabbit hole. Rabbit hole C is very similar, but it's the hashtag. Let's say the hashtag is mental health matters. You're going to click that hashtag and you're going to go down. Make sure you scroll down at least 2 pages and pick one video from mental health matters. Repost that. If even 1/4 of us switched from doom scrolling to deep scrolling, it would completely change this algorithm. And in my opinion, it would change it for the better. There's one more way we can outsmart AI, and I'm going to tell you all about it in the next video. Last thing we can do to outsmart AI is AI optimize all online content. That doesn't mean turn your content into AI slop. That means doing what I did during this series. Organizing your thoughts into discrete, separate ideas. Use bullet points on screen to summarize your main point. If you also do print media like me, use headings and subheadings and bulleted list as well. Now, am I going to do this on every video? Certainly not. Who has time? But I will be doing this more often because that makes my content more visible to AI. And unfortunately, if it's invisible to AI in 2026, it's just invisible. This concludes season 1 of How to Outsmart AI. If I do decide to do more videos on this subject, I will label them as a second season. Thanks for riding with me, and thanks for showing up for yourself.